everybody! Welcome to the next episode of FarrenLand. I am Miss Willow. I am an adventurer colonizing a fantasy land on a deserted island filled with dragons, creatures, new plants and animals to explore and discover, and I am here by the great word of my Dragon King Augustin to help make this land livable and a working civilization and society. So follow me on this adventure, and I will continue my journey with planting new trees and exploring new species. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. If you do, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and comment what you're excited about in this episode. And do you like adventuring? What is your favorite kind of adventure to go on? Anyways, let's begin. I started off my journey by finally recolonizing my inventory into chests. Indoor chests, instead of them being soaked in the rain outside under a tree. Gathering up these items was not fun, but it was necessary for a clean start to the day. As should I in real life clean and organize my own storage containers. That would be a sight for sore eyes. The day progressed as the mail service arrived, giving me hope for new trades and new responsibilities. Time to read the daily message. Is it from Augustin or the Pony Express? Let's find out. The king is glad that one of his fishermen is now an ambassador to FarrenLand. Welcome Venice to your new island. The dragon on your island is still afoot. Kill the dragon, orders the King Augustin, being a dragon himself, ironically. If not, your island may be at high risk to attack. It is solely your choice, Willow. We know you have a knack for taming creatures, but this one is quite large. If you are looking for a new task, we are excited to move Francis next to your island. He is the country farmer. Francis has a keen knowledge of animals and crops, taming of beasts, and more. You must build him a windmill. Getting sheep for wool is a good start. There should be sheep in the trade for the trade stock. 10 bits, I believe. Enjoy! Oh, and Francis will also need a 20-bit entry fee. With Francis now moving to my island, I took some time to pick out a nice spot away from everybody else for him to have his land. Or our land, that is. After all, as mayor, I am establishing these gardens, and I am expected to maintain them, as he cannot. I found a little field where some wheat and a windmill would work perfectly, so I started to clear it out and flatten the land, leveling it for some gardens. I planted my first bit of wheat, keenly bone-mealing it and continuing to expand the growings outward to the ocean. I foresaw having a long field of pure golden crisps of wheat, standing tall, beautifully outside of a small and humble mill, so that is the vision that I am foreseeing. Starting the windmill was simple, a 5x5 rounded layer of stones and spiraling up to about 20 blocks tall. Adding resources like wood as we go, towards the top when running out of cobblestone. This building would have 3 main sections, 2 being stores and storage, and the top being Francis's room where he rests. I wanted hay bales scattered in mounds around the area in hopes that I will soon be tasked to farm animals here. That would be something of wonder, as we have 0 captive animals yet, and it has been this long in the series. After some time working on Francis's windmill, I ran out of all cobblestones and both needed new tools and resources for the build. I had to go deep down into the earth of FarrenLand to seek out more rocks for this epic stature. Ooh, wish me luck, it was pretty scary down here. I worked more on the tower of the mill, adding differing types of stones, such as andesite, to the build, making it appear a bit more natural. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think with these different types of stones? As the next day arose, I headed back to my almost completed windmill. The garden of wheat was giving me lots of hope of having new trades for FarrenDale bits, as currently, the price of a bit would be 20 wheat harvested from anywhere. I could utilize the farm's resources for my own good, and use the trades to build even more of the town. This is why I love getting the new authority to create structures and bring new folks onto the new FarrenLand. So, FarrenDale has some unique crops, such as corn, cotton, butternut squash, and lettuce, which I promptly harvested by hybridizing seeds and wheat of different types in the crafting table. This allowed me to start a small section of the farmer's plot where we could grow some Farrian plants. Would you look at how nice they look? Look at the lettuce! I made that! Oh my gosh, if you haven't known, I am the creator of the FarrenDale mod, which is one of the mods that I'm playing in this series. Orchards. Good morning, Willow. Your new task is to create an orchard on the island neighboring yours. There should be a nice plains field nearby it, ready for some life. Once you get a look at it, much needed. Francis still has yet to emerge onto your island, but he is patient for the wait. The orchard should consist of some strong-growing dynamic trees, fruit and nut trees, and regular pines and oaks to cut at your leisure. Thanks to your resources, we can now create a bridge across. Make sure that there are boats accessible from shore there too. Happy orcharding! P.S. This island is bound to be the more primitive style building area, as it will be dedicated to the dragons and creatures of the world that you encounter in raids. Signed, King Augustine. With yet another task, I was to bridge the two lands together, and finally cause them to meet up. Easy travels in my future. I started by immediately gathering wood, lots of it. I couldn't decide at first to have a flat bridge or one that steps up into an arch. This has been a task I have wanted to accomplish since the start of the series. I've traveled past this land to find that these are the only two islands in sight for what seems like ever. I began planting some trees for some excess wood, not knowing that I could just go to the trade center and buy myself some, forgetting that I had tons of FarrenDale bits stashed up. So I planted a ton of unnecessary trees, which now I have to take down later, unfortunately. The only trees that I want growing on this island are my dynamic trees right here, from the Dynamic Trees mod. My happy little snail friend enjoys them very much, and the natural trees which are growing on the island itself. I began bridging and bridging and bridging for what seemed like ages. I decided on a flat bridge design as my overall final decision. One day, if I do not like this anymore, I will raise it up with some stairs and break out the bottoms so that I have an arch. But for now, this should suffice pretty well. Finishing up the bridge with some final touches, I have embellished it with a bunch of light sources. I decided to run different types of logs to make a little bit of an artistic-looking blend or contrast to the colors of the boardwalk itself. I then lit them up and bedazzled them with torches and made the final stalks, whatever you want to call them, pillars on either end of the bridge, a little bit fancier with some stairs. I even mined a little bit of the calcite, the white stone that I'm enjoying on the shorelines, and built them up on the ends with that. As you can see, I finished up with some fences, and I think the bridge looks incredible, especially with the calcite, kind of commemorating the island itself, and the natural resources that we find on the new FarrenLand. It came time that I commenced creating the orchard. I spent a long time going tree to tree on both islands, collecting all fruit and nuts that I could find. And string. Apparently, in Pam's Harvestcraft, there are string trees which grow string straight out of them, that you can get like 10 to 12 string per harvest. I think that is amazing. So I collected tons of fruits and strings and nuts to make my orchard with. I would also need regular pines, spruces, and oaks, too. I finally found the plains, the dead plains, in which King Augustin was referring to. Bringing some life to it, I decided to add my lemon and plum and avocado saplings, and string sapling, as you just see right there with the white on it, and tried to bring it back to life. Just as the orchard came into play and fruition, I found a whole jungle, which I had never known existed before. This was super cool, and I was excited to explore it. There were giant spikes coming out of the ground near the mushrooms, and I wondered if an amphitheater from the Ice and Fire mod might spawn here. With the bridge all complete, and beautiful and long, with sailboats, little rowboats, not sailboats, and an orchard across the lands, filled with fruits and nuts, and spruce, pines, and oaks, all bountiful. This concludes another beautiful episode of FarrenLand. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful and magical day, and if you look forward to the next episode of FarrenLand, do feel free to subscribe, comment what you would like to see in the next episode. And without further ado, I will see you next time. Bye everybody, and have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching. Your support brings me great lengths. You can consider taking a look at my Etsy shop at MissWillowArtistry.com. That's the best way to support me continuing to craft. I update frequently and have a lot of fun doing so. Have a magical day!